And then you start taking these things internally to combat this, and constantly combat this. And this is the way to do it. I've done it and I'm telling you, I'm not selling anything. I'm telling you 100% that all the sensations that I felt before are gone. And we know. I know, you know, my dog knows, that anybody that's in the program, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't get out of the program. When you're hit with this stuff, generally, you feel it for the rest of your life. I wish people like Holland Gerard were in and people like that have felt this stuff for 30 years, 20 or 30 years had been around now, so that I could convince them to try this out and just to see what happens. I guarantee you that they would have been blown away by the results. This technology is so much different, and it's such a different game than what has been promoted and pumped by different people. And that's why they're laughing their asses off, because people have overthought it and came up with these grandiose. That sound to people from the outside, it sounds absolutely crazy. But when you break it down and look at it, and keep it simple and look at it rationally, this is what makes the most sense. And this isn't a theory. I've done it. I've proved it. I've tried it. It works and I'm trying to help you out. And I get joy out of knowing that somehow I'm FING 33.16 up some little asshole's program. So it's imperative that you do this. And like I said earlier, you don't have anything to lose. And the more I find out through my daily experimentation, the more I figure out, I will continue to post this up. But those are the major things that you need to do. As I'm talking here, if I think of anything else that also works, I'll throw it in. There was a guy who didn't know he was targeted. He didn't know that he had morgellons. He just had a film growing on him that, by all accounts and description, sounds exactly like what I've been taking out of my body. He had gone to the doctor and the doctor actually tested it, because he didn't come in with wild accusations, and walked out with some delusional parasitosis, or whatever a diagnosis. His doctor actually had it checked out. What the doctor found was a fungus, red blood cells, and quote-unquote unknown goo. This is exactly the same kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This is what you need to break up. So let's go over it. You've got Epsom salt to the skin, bath, heavily soaked in Epsom salt. You've got borax that breaks it up. Then you've got internally, everything that I talked about internally. You need to take to kill it on the inside. If your guts are gurgling and doing weird things, it's not because you're being hit with maybe because they are reacting. Yeah, they are reacting with Wi-Fi and the different signals that these signals are being carried on. But you need to kill the stuff off and you will see that your gut stops gurgling. So there's a carrier, all the stuff carries on something. That's why they can target you and not everybody else in the room. That's why there isn't a spook in a van pointing a weapon at you. Or in an apartment, or your neighbor, or whatever. They don't need that anymore. They don't need chips. They don't need any of this stuff. It creates a dirty board. It creates a dirty circuit board in your body. That's receptive to these signals. There's a dude I've been talking to you in another state he's actually a new TI. I hate that word, but he's, if you want to call targeted or whatever. He's new to the whole thing. Within, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, he starts getting these red spots on his face. It looks like dry skin or eczema. Then he starts waking up, same exact thing. The same story, he starts waking up and it looks like he's got frosting every day. Over these parts of his skin. Over these little areas, there's a frosting that just falls off. It's not skin. Because skin doesn't regenerate that quickly. It literally looks like a frosting, like he's been eating a frosted donut. It's the same thing. And I'm telling you, potassium iodide, supersaturated, whatever. You want a saturated solution of potassium iodide, potassium iodide drops. You take so many of them a day, as well. You take the stuff in maximum dosage. You can look it up, how to treat sporotrichosis with potassium iodide. This helps kill the fungal infection. This will kill the fungal infection. Then you cleanse the body internally. Keep using all the things I mentioned and I promise you that your symptoms will diminish and then vanish. You have particular dust, nanoparticles, that are stuck to you. You have different particles that are stuck to you inside and out.